Wagwan peeps, it's Venom, what you saying? Alongside my home slice, damn me to the Zane. When she and I get together on the poddy, ask anybody, the vibes are insane.
Join our family and feel free to come by. We on Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
Yeah.
New drop on the way every Monday at 6.
Tune in and come see what we unpick.
Hey, hello, hi peeps. Welcome back to another episode of the Unpicked podcast show. It is your home slice, your home girl, the one and only Dammy Zane, and I'm here with my podcast bestie, Venom.
Yeah. What's good?
You know, by the title of this episode, you can see that we will be talking about the disgraceful government that we have here in the UK at the moment and how we have lost trust in trust.
Jeez.
Yes, I said it.
Pause.
And we'll also be talking about whether or not cis heterosexual, or my co-host will just say straight, men, whether they like women or not, basically. Do cis heterosexual men actually like women? Before we move on to the next segment, we just want to let you know that we are taking a break. Yeah, season 2 is coming to an end, and we will be back in time for our 1-year anniversary on the 14th. I lie, on the 14th of November. So if you don't see us on the timeline, if you don't see us on the YouTube, if you don't hear us on the other listening platforms, then that's the reason why. Okay, so anyway. Okay. Now, if you're new here, thank you for coming through. Hopefully you hit the subscribe button. Hopefully you stay and become part of the family. And if you are returning, thank you for coming back, okay? Mm-hmm. And those of you that are new here, there's something we like to do before we start, and that is a little icebreaker. And for that, I'm going to pass it over to...
Pass the mic? Yeah.
I was going to say pass the mic, but we've got our own mics. I'm going to pass the baton over to my co-host, because he's got the questions for me today while we play this or that. Take it away.
Jeez. Dammy Zane, what's good?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all right.
I'm good, you know. Yeah, how you living? Good. How are you? Hey,
I'm
how
good,
you
man. I'm good. I was I was trying to think of questions that were a little bit different because I didn't want to do my typical sexuals. I didn't want to do nothing musical. I wanted it to be related to the times that we're going through. So my questions are a little bit political. They're not political, but a little bit political. The first
so is
one,
the theme politics?
A little bit, yeah. That's kind of the underlying vibe, ish.
All right, give it to me.
So the first one is, Truss is gone.
Mm-hmm.
So would you rather have Bojo back in office, or would you rather try your hand at being the prime minister yourself? And this is like...
I should be prime minister.
This is for real.
Yeah. Yeah.
You think you can handle the stress?
Put me in office right now.
With the zero experience.
Mm.
What's going to be your first policy to implement? Because everyone's judging you, This is the first thing this new black female prime minister after Liz Truss middle of the pandemic exit strategy has implemented. What is it?
Well, if you think about the state of the economy at the moment, everyone's worried about the cost of living, first of all. So everything is way more expensive. The second thing people are really worried about at the moment is their energy bills. I would say that's even number one. Yeah. And then thirdly, it would be the NHS. So whatever I choose will have something to do with that. I think the most pressing thing that everyone's worried about at the moment is probably the energy bills and the cost of living. So whatever I'm doing will have something to do with that. I don't know exactly what it will be just yet. You've put me on a spot, but it'll definitely be something to do with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's because I remember saying something about me running for president.
Not just a cute face, you know what I mean? I know.
She out here talking about,
I'm for the people.
Okay.
Definitely. Yeah, 100%. The Black Party.
The Black Party. That's what you. I'll join the Black Party, and I'll definitely vote for the Black Party. That's fast
Thank
shout.
you.
Would you
Okay.
rather go back in time 10 years and relive the last 10 years up to the pandemic, obviously, but aware that that's coming so you can make different decisions and whatnot? Or would you rather skip forward 10 years without aging and live, your life from there? So the 10 years after, so things have normalized and we're not doing all this that we're doing right now.
I think I would go back. I would go back 10 years. Yeah, I'd go back 10 years. It will allow me to make different choices for a number of reasons. Obviously, financially, my living, like where I'm living.
Oh, you would live somewhere different?
Yeah, and even romance. I'd have nipped some things in the bud.
Jeez!
Yeah, get my time back. That's right.
But remember, when you go forward 10 years, you don't lose any time. You'll be Dami Zayn today, but in 10 years, yeah?
I hear that, but I still would want to go back 10 years so I could have dumped that dusty. Well, he wasn't a dusty. I can't say that.
You see how they do you? She's giving him the dust,
No, but I know he wasn't a dusty. That's why I took it back.
But you still wanted to put it there.
I just want to convey that he wasn't great for me, so I would have left him sooner. Yeah. Financially, I probably wouldn't have been so frivolous with my peas. Would have put more into the savings. I think I could do the lockdown again.
I had a good time, so yeah.
I feel like towards the end of it, I was like, no, I'm getting a hang of this. I would have used it for other things. We would have started the podcast sooner, I feel.
Oh, for sure. But then we wouldn't have known each other. Well,
no, but remember, I have the knowledge. I have the knowledge. If I go back, I have the knowledge. So
then how do you convince me? How do you convince me? Like when I don't know you from anywhere.
Hello, we'd have one conversation, and you'd be like, you know what?
I'm like, hey. Okay. I like it.
If we have the podcast chemistry now, why wouldn't we have the podcast?
No, we
I'd
would.
Even bring more. I'd bring more vim too, because I know.
It's true. The journey's been emotional.
I'll be
from
like, you know
episode
what?
1.
I'll be like, you know what? Yeah, like I feel like the podcast should be called Unpicked. You'd be like, what? Really? I'm like, yeah. Think about it.
Okay. Become vegan, or only be able to eat animals that you have killed with your own hands or using basic weapons like hammers, clubs, spears, knife, that kind of weapon.
Well, I've done veganism before, actually, and I did it for a while, and then someone took me to a steakhouse. And
I was actually going to say steak and lobster.
It was done, but I was a vegan for a solid 4, was it 4, 5? It's not years. I'm not gonna say years, guys.
I was gonna say, bro.
No. Months. It might
it sounded so less impressive.
6
months.
Yeah,
4 months. 5 months.
You was thinking she's gonna say years.
I thought you were gonna say that. I didn't even put you down for days. I said no. She's gonna say years. Right? That mean did this thing.
That's why I had to let you know it's not years. It was definitely months. Okay, maybe 5-6 months. I was a vegan, and I really thought I could go the long haul.
Yeah.
And then I was taken to a steakhouse, followed by a Lebanese/Turkish restaurant. And them man know how to season the meats.
They put meat on meat.
And I was like, yeah, bye veganism. I'm gonna be back. So you know what I do? Every year I have See, I used to call myself a flexitarian, and then my brother sat me down and was like, how can you be a flexitarian? Everyone is a flexitarian, because not being a flexitarian means you eat everything. Sometimes you don't eat meat, sometimes you do eat meat, but you eat everything. Everyone's a flexitarian. And I was like, you know what? Bye, you're a hater. But my definition of flexitarian for me was sometimes I'll just have a vegan diet, period. And for parts of the year, and then for parts of the year, I'll go and still eat my meat. Or in a week, let's say I'll have meat for a few days, and then for a few days, I'll be completely vegan or completely vegetarian or whatever. So yeah, I can go vegan, I think. It's
But is that
very
what you want to
beneficial
do though?
in the future. Yeah, absolutely. Because it's so beneficial for your body. Like you have more energy. And as a woman as well, there's other like benefits as a woman
Oh
to
yeah, is
being
there?
vegan. Yeah. There is.
I didn't know that.
I don't like red meat anymore because of
Anymore
my
since when?
flexitarian diet.
Mm-hmm.
I can't eat meat. When I eat red meat, I call it meat sweats. Like I can feel the physical change from the inside when
Yeah,
I eat
yeah,
red meat because I've gone so long eating just white meat or fish. And if I'm not eating white meat or fish, I'm eating like a vegan diet.
yeah.
So my body tells me that it doesn't agree. So yeah, I think I could be vegan eventually. Yeah.
You weren't feeling killing the animals with your bare hands now.
Um. See, I'm not really into that. But like I said, because I know the benefits of being a vegan and I've done it for a little while, maybe not a year. Maybe I should challenge myself for 2023.
No, do
But
it because I'm doing it. So do it. Do it with me. Let's have a vegan journey.
let me think about it.
Nah, let's go for it.
Before
You
I
heard
commit
it here,
myself.
guys.
Why do you always do this to me?
Me and
Every
Dummy to
time
the Zane.
I
She
give you
said
an
challenge
inch, you take.
accepted.
You see the dynamic, guys, especially those of you that are new here. You see what happens? I should stop planting seeds. I should stop giving them an inch because you don't even let me like consider it. You just run like, yeah,
Let's
we're gonna do it.
go.
I'm like,
Let's
right.
go.
You know, but no, veganism. I see the benefits of it. I'll be honest, I'm not one of those vegans that's like, I'm a vegan because of the animals. No, I'm
Nah,
not gonna lie to you.
at all.
It's not about the animals. I'm
At
sorry.
all.
It's about me. It's about my insides.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Period.
I'm like, nah, don't give me the story about the animals. Yes, the more I think about it, I'm like, oh, you
Yeah,
know
I
what?
hear it. I hear
That's
it.
actually, but
Yeah,
that's not why I'm doing it.
because I am an animal person. I mean, I've got my Toby.
Here's a question though. This is the black question because where was I?
Is he allowed
Oh,
in my kitchen?
no. No, it's not that deep. It's not that deep.
He's not
I
allowed
was
in the
at a
kitchen.
comedy show and a comedian, black woman, she told this joke which ended in this scenario, and I realized, oh yeah, snap. This is where I would fall because I cuss people about this all the time. Is the dogs and they're picking up the poo poo in the bag. You're picking up the poo poo in the bag.
Yeah, I have to because it's
that's
against the
mad.
law to leave it.
Yeah,
Do you know
that's
what
the part
I
I can't
do?
do.
Wait, I need to demonstrate. I just so happen to have a little something here. So what I'll do, yeah, is this is the bag, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll put
You
my
put your
hand
hand
in the
in.
bag.
Yeah. And then you just reverse.
And then I grips it, whatever I got to grips, and then I just do this.
Yeah.
And it's
I'm not saying it's unsanitary.
I never had to touch it.
No,
the smell of the poop, yeah. But then you've got a cat. Your cat would have pooped and peed in the litter, right?
Yeah.
And so you smell. You're gonna smell it, right?
I know what.
You gotta clear it up too.
Mm.
You're not gonna leave it there, otherwise the whole house would be stinking, right? So yeah, I pick it up and I put it away, and yeah, in the house, I do something similar. So I actually pick it up with. Because this is so. I'm gonna take this all out anyway. Dog poo is very solid. If it's not solid, there's some. If the poo's not solid, there's something wrong with the dog. Yeah. So it's very solid. So I've got like, I'm so extra. So I go to Costco and I buy like it's like toilet paper, but it's wet. So it's wet toilet wipes basically. I got a big box of it. So I'm one of those people, TMI, I don't just wipe with dry wipes, I wipe with wet wipes because I need to make sure everything clean down there. And I do the same thing with my dog, right? I do the same thing with my dog. Right. So when he if it's raining outside or whatever and I can't take him outside, on my balcony, he's got like a few different, because I've got 2 entries to my balcony at my place. So I've got a few like potty pads for dogs, right?
Yeah.
Which I change every day. So I take it off the it stays on and I change it every day. But he'll go there to potty, right? And I will still clean it, even though it's on the balcony. I don't want the balcony to stink. So I'll take, when he poops on there, I'll take tissue, dry tissue, take the poop, put it, and then
dispose of that. Toilet. Yeah. That's good.
No, I don't even put it in the bin. It flushes down the toilet.
You put it in the bin.
It goes in the bin. And then I get Toby and I get the wet wipes and I clean his bum. I clean with the bum. Yeah, I clean his all because you're not going to be scooting on my floor.
Of course.
With poo-poo butt. Do you know? Venom. The UK is in a crisis.
Calamity.
Shambolic. So, yeah, we're in a crisis. Yeah. We're in a crisis. In the last 6 years, can you tell me how many prime ministers we have had in this UK? Can you tell me?
45.
It's crazy.
It's wild.
They're just dropping like fly at this point. Yeah. But anyway, Liz Truss, yeah. In Liz, we do not trust.
Mad.
The government did not trust either. And they've been giving her some wahala up in number 10 Downing Street. And as we are recording this episode now, Madame Truss has resigned. I think the most, I guess, iconic thing she did was her not so iconic speech when the big Liz passed away.
Oh, I didn't even remember what she said.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. It's not iconic. Yeah. In the same year, we've had the longest reigning monarch ever die. And then weeks later, the shortest reigning prime minister resign.
And they both have the same name.
Liz. In Liz, we did not trust.
Oh, embarrassment. Liz, are you not embarrassed?
In Liz, we do not trust was the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom for, was it 42 days? Was it 44 days? Was it 45 days? He was shot 40-something days.
You have to minus the 10 for the mourning period of the Queen as well.
Oh, so it's 30-something.
It's 30-something.
Because she didn't do anything. What did she do?
10 days.
This woman came in, she came in with bare promises, as usual. Promises. Yeah.
We're getting a little tired, you know?
Oh, Lord. Sorry. Let me rein it in, because I'm here talking rubbish. This is me. I crack jokes about everything. I don't take things serious. She was here making promises, yeah? No offense to people that actually have a list.
I have a list.
Perfecto. Say it, promise.
Promise. Mine's not like hella strong, but I do.
Okay, cool. So she's making hella promises about, okay, let me be serious, guys. Let me do real reporting. So basically, at the time that Boris resigned, the UK was facing crazy high energy bills. They increased the national insurance tax, and cost of living still is, inflation was just inflating. You know what I mean? And then on top of that, everyone was just sick and tired of Boris's lies, and he just wasn't a serious guy in it. So people needed, been a serious guy. Right? But people needed a prime minister that was going to come in and give us some stability. Liz comes in, she was voted in by the Conservative Party, right? It wasn't by us.
Yeah, no, it's by the Conservatives, yeah. She
reversed the NI tax, she said she would, so she did that, at least. She then, her right-hand man that made all the budgeting plans anyway, she then went and sacked him, man, like, what's it?
Kwasi
Kwarteng. Man, like, from GH.
Big Ghanaian, brother.
Trust me, from the West Africas, you know. And then she made some other plans to deregulate and to borrow money, and then this just sent investors in a frenzy. And next thing you know, the British pound has dropped like astronomically,
A record
to the
low.
point, record low. Yeah. So the Conservatives were like, she needs to get gone. She needs to get out, you know?
Mm-hmm.
At this point, we do need to have a general election. But my concern is, I don't think we have a strong contender for the Labour Party anyway.
We don't.
And you know what? We don't. So, and people are horrified. A lot of people, as much as they don't have trust in the Conservatives, they also don't have trust in the Labour Party because of Tony Blair, right? And his monstrosities. So I feel like no matter who ends up governing the nation next, we're still going to be effed. It's not going to, do you know what I mean? Like, I just don't see, I have no hope.
It's a hopeless time because on the one hand, you have the Conservatives who have been in power for the last 12 years and literally this country is falling apart. And I remember like...
Get me off the island.
I remember like the 90s, the early noughties, and then even after 2010 when Labour was still in power and the Conservatives were coming down hard, like these guys are mashing up the economy, blah, blah, blah. And they came into power and oh my God, it's been atrocious. And that's before COVID.
Yeah, I genuinely believe that for any nation to survive, you kind of need to have it alternate. Like, you need to have a bit of time with one party and a bit of time with another. I actually think that the longer a party is governing the nation,
the worse. The
more opportunity that party has to ruin some of the good things it would have done. Because when Labour was in the late 90s, early noughties, like you're saying, prior to that, we had like a long reign of conservatism. Like, we went from like Margaret Thatcher, probably even, I can't remember who was even before her, conservative to after Margaret was, what's that guy's name?
Is it John Major?
John Major. Do you know what I mean? Like, they were all they were all conservatives, and then came in the Labour rule. So I feel like it needs to alternate, and I think we're just about right now to get the Tories off and get a new party in. And I'm just hoping that it's a party that can do, like, they need to go now. Like, they need to go now.
They done. I mean, they had their time on the seat. You know what I'm saying?
Think about it. They've done a lot. They're the reason why we have left.
Done better.
They're the reason why we've left.
They invented
They're the reason
COVID.
why.
They threw the NHS down the drain. They killed the Queen. They did bad things, bruv.
Bad things.
Listen, it's
even Queen Elizabeth checked out after she gave Liz in Liz We Do Not Trust. She didn't appoint Liz, but she's the one that put her, because you know the Queen or the King has to you know, they're the ones that technically appoint. They're the ones that appoint, but they're not the ones that appoint, if you know what I mean. Yeah. She appointed Liz. Yeah, after the Conservative Party have already voted her in. And she was like, you know what? 2 days, I'm out.
Yeah, that is wild. Nah.
2 days.
Nah, not to leave back. Come on. Behave yourself. Lord have mercy.
She said, I don't want to see. I've seen enough.
I'll tell you what's a win that nobody knows that I found out about this today. Is that anyone who serves as Prime Minister, they get like a state-funded pension, which 116,000 gets paid into that a year. For 45
days.
For 45 days of calamity.
Put me in there for 1 week. Just 1 week. Me too, I want to be set when I'm a pensioner.
You know?
I might not do anything. But
I mean, it'd be better than mashing up everything, you know, because she just came in, mashed up the whole room.
She scattered everything.
Scatter. No, it's a lot.
She's that cousin that comes to your house to play. Mash up your room. It's time to tidy up. We are going home.
You know what she is? I'll tell you what she actually is, yeah? Liz Truss is the epitome of white privilege. And I explained to you why. Do you think Rishi could ever have done this? Are you actually mad?
There would have been protests. There would have been.
Can you deep it? In 45 days.
They would have definitely planned a coup.
In 45 days. Do you think anybody of any other ethnicity could do this much damage and all they did is just resign and that's it? Cool.
They would have staged a coup.
Bounce.
Because even Boris got it. The whole world right now, well, the whole Western world anyway, I feel like is feeling stretched. And when I say Western world, I mean Europe and America. Because we are struggling with this Putin situation. We're struggling. We've just come out of a pandemic, and then you've got Russia doing a mazzoline, on Ukraine. And threatening to do a mazzoline everywhere else. Because I also heard that they're threatening to do a mazzoline in the UK.
They said that immediately. They said if you guys get involved in what we are doing,
but we did get involved because now man like Boris was telling people we will pay you to take Ukrainian people into your house.
No. He meant like if you get involved in the fighting, if you get involved that.
No, but then they did get involved in that because they're the reason why you didn't.
They supply weapons.
So much has happened. Not just that, but they also did things like, okay, we're gonna freeze off Putin, Russia's ability to get certain resources and stuff like that. That was the first one, and then Putin was like, "Oh, swear, but we've got our own resources, my G. You thought we depended on you? Oh, you thought I was fooling you? Oh, you thought I was fooling you? You thought I was? Oh, you thought I don't need you." Next thing you know, we can't get hold of palm oil. We can't get hold of this. We can't get hold of that. Things in the supermarket started going up. There was a shortage of chicken at one point, shortage of water. It was a mazzoline. So listen, the point I'm trying to make is for those of us that are here, it's not looking bad to go back to your country, you know.
No, it is. Have you seen what happened to Nigeria? Have you seen the flooding?
I did. Yeah,
Lord have mercy. I didn't even know
it's not everywhere. Oh no, it can, especially rainy season and stuff. No, it can. But I mean, if I take the monies that I'm making now and you're working remotely and you just work remotely from there, come on. You transfer the pounds to Naira.
Jeez.
It's not as much as it would have been 6 months ago, but
that's still... because of Liz.
That's because of Liz and
that's
Liz
because of the record low.
Oh,
on the low.
We're actually laughing, but we're stuffed. We're actually pissed.
No, it's mad, but it is where it is at the same time. You can't do nothing about it. You know,
is your heating on right now?
No. Has my heating come on this year? Has my heating come on this year?
I'm living.
Who are you talking to?
I'm actually living in my electric blanket. Are you?
Oh, you're even using listen, I've got my house coat on. All right. I'm doing that, boy.
He'll go out in an outside coat, come in and wear his house coat.
Yeah, house coat must come on.
This is how we're living in the
in the UK.
They even said we're gonna be doing. You know how in Nigeria NEPA takes the light.
Yeah. Well, they're gonna try to do that.
They said that. They could never. What are you talking about? They said that there's threats that they might have to do like in the weekdays, like 3 hours power cut.
They can't.
Oh, what do you mean they cannot? They can.
They cannot because of work from home. Work from how you gonna work?
What do you mean? That's when they'll start telling you it's from 7 to 10 p.m.
Mad.
After work hours.
In fact, yeah, they won't be able to do it.
The only people that work from home, think about it, Venom. The only people that work from home are people that do 9 to 5s, people that work in the office, have office jobs. So if they were to let's do power cuts, they'll just do the power cuts outside of the 9 to 5 hours.
They'll do the hours you said. But I think all of the big brands that will be advertising on the TV and putting on all their shows, they will never allow it. They would never allow it because it would just eat into their peas. Because now you're not watching, I don't know, whatever advert, something car insurance, blah blah blah.
I don't know if that would make much of a difference because most people stream now anyway.
Yeah, but you'd still have no power to. Well, actually, yeah, you have your phone.
And people stream anyway. I can't remember the last time I'm paying TV license for what I don't know, because I don't watch live TV.
Oh no, they extended it. The TV license now covers the internet and any device that can connect to the internet. So that's why you pay it. That's why now.
So I'm paying. Wait, hold on. Hold on. It's been like that for a while though, because you can get ITV, BBC, all that on the internet. But what I'm telling you is, I don't even stream live. As in, I don't even use internet, whether that's cable or internet, to watch BBC live.
No, but even if you're watching it pre-recorded, you still have to pay TV license.
I don't watch pre-recorded. The only time I should be paying TV license is when I'm watching Love Island for 8 weeks in the summer. Outside of that, I shouldn't be paying for TV license, because I watch Netflix, I watch Disney Plus.
That one's coming next though. I'm waiting for that one to get readdressed, because this TV license for BBC, hey,
it's not making any sense for me.
We need a dictatorship. That's what we need. We need one person who knows what the hell they're doing, and then we need them to take the lead. Because this whole conservative, Labour, Democratic is very undemocratic, you know.
And pre-tell, who should be the dictator? Just tell us.
Oh, who? I mean, out of the people that's in Parliament now, I don't really have a good...
Oh, do you know what I thought you was going to say?
Myself.
Yeah.
I mean, well, that goes without saying, because from who's in Parliament right now, who do you see that is... Keir Starmer is an undercover conservative. This guy is not Labour. So you got conservatives, and then you got fake conservatives, and then everything else in between. I don't really see, you know what I mean? They don't get the airtime.
This is why I'm saying whoever gets on there, we're effed anyway.
I say give a brother a chance. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe it's
just put me just put me on there for a week for the pension, and then put Venom on there. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I bet Venom you in those 2 weeks we will do some things. We'll get some things shaken up.
Do you know what? I genuinely
better, I
believe in us, yeah, and I believe in you. I do.
I believe in you too.
Thank you. It means a lot. But I also know that the government probably have some secrets that they can't tell the public, and that's what's driving them to do a Mazzoline. Because I don't get it. Like, I don't get why you would do these things if there isn't something that we don't know going on in the background. You know what I mean?
Well, there's bare layers to this thing, man.
Which is there's bare layers that we don't know about, and that's why people will be making promises, but they can't deliver. They can't deliver because there's things we don't know about on the DL.
And then the thing is, do you want to be one of the people that know as well? That's a whole next.
That's why the pension's so high. That's why Why do you think the pension payment is so high? It's hush money.
Yeah, you need to be stumm.
It's hush. Yeah, it's hush money. And of course, you're going to be stressed now.
You ain't even stressed. You just can't do nothing.
No. I feel like the things that they know are things that if we knew about it, it would literally cause the whole
I don't even think Liz knows.
Disarray.
I don't even think she knows yet. I don't even think they got to the point where...
she weren't there for long. She weren't there for long enough.
I don't think they got to the point where they tell you.
But she's going to get the pension though, so she must know something. Because they're going to be signing non-disclosure agreements and all this and all that. What do you think they're going to talk to the king or the queen for every week? There's bare secrets that we don't know about, that they know about. That's why the pension's so high.
Yeah, I definitely agree. For everyone but Liz, though. I don't think Liz actually even knows anything yet.
Liz did how many weeks?
6.
I'm telling you, Queen Lizzie, R.I.P., she released some stories to Liz. Liz reacted, and Queenie said, "You know what? If that's how you're gonna be,
nah, no way.
That's my story.
No way.
Yeah. She said, "You know what? If this is what it's gonna be, I don't want to be here. I don't want to see it. I've said what I had to say."
Nah. She said, "You don't look like you can handle it. I'm out."
Yeah, I'm out. I'm out.
I mean, Zayn. He was in the TikToks, in my DM, sending me videos. And when I'm sending I'm sending you business plans. You're sending me wahala between
Don't
man
do
and
that.
woman. Listen, all I can tell you is that when I finally get to set up this Dammy Zane at onlyfans.com, you lot will thank me. Just pay your money and we'll keep it there. Anyway.
See how my co-host is trying to exploit me, guys.
No exploitation.
Please,
She will be paid for her
can
work.
You please drop the main topic, I beg.
On TikTok, Dammy Zane sent me a video of so it was like a stitched video. One man was talking about him getting married to another straight man. So a straight man marrying another straight man in order to reap the benefits of having two male incomes in a household. And it basically was then remixed by someone else or stitched by someone else who was bringing about the question, do men actually even like women? Why do men even date women, etc.? So I want to get Dammy's opinion on it because she didn't give me any context as to how she felt about this video. She just sent me the video. So I watched it. I enjoyed.
I sent it to you. I sent it to you so that I could get your opinion on the matter as a heterosexual man. It's not the first time that I've heard this narrative before or this argument before. Ages ago now, there was somebody else, quite a few people actually, that were having a discussion on social media about how men actually are in love with men, but they are just physically attracted to women. So in terms of when it comes to seeking emotional support and emotional, I guess, emotional and mental affection, if you can call it that.
Yeah.
They go to their boys, but when it comes to the sex, they come to girls. And so there's this idea that that's why your man, women, that's why your man will never put you above his boys, because his boys come first, because he's actually in love with them. Like, he doesn't love you like that. And there's that whole conversation. So I feel like this is very in line with that, because what the guy was saying was, you know what, I'm open to getting married to another straight man so that I don't have to deal with what comes with a normal marriage. And what I guess what he's talking about is the hassle of dealing with a woman. And I think we're living in a world now where there is a growing population of incels. And that is, in a way, that growing population, I mean, in terms of what an incel is, they are involuntary celibate men. Involuntary celibate men. Involuntary, meaning if they had a choice, they'd have women, but they've grown to hate women because they're not getting the women in the first place, if that makes sense. Or that's how I understand it. And if somebody else has a different understanding or feels that I'm wrong, please correct me. I'm open to correction. I'm teachable. So, like, to me, I feel like dating as a whole is, we talk about dating a lot. We've spoken about dating in different various ways. Some of our earlier episodes have spoken about why dating right now is so not productive right now and the reasons for why that is. And I think because until the dating scene is improved and there is a sense of relationships within the heterosexual space being celebrated, and we're seeing more good examples and more healthy interactions, we're going to have an increase of incels. And likewise, an increase of men are trash society. And likewise, we're going to have women deciding, you know what, we don't need men. So now we're just going to move in with each other. Because women are thinking about doing the same thing.
I know.
Moving with each other, live with each other. We can go and have babies without men now. That's what they're telling themselves. We can have a happy home without men now, and likewise men are proposing the same thing. And what's going to happen is eventually, I mean, just because I'm dramatic, eventually we're just not going to have a new population, or we're going to have a decreased population after this generation, because people are not, doing what we're meant to be doing. Like,
whilst it wouldn't be for me because I'm married and I'm past that point, I actually didn't see a problem with what he was saying, even though the person who stitched it was like highlighting their views on what he said. I didn't see an issue, and I'm going to explain why. First of all, one of his first, I mean, he did make points to validate it, to assure the audience that he himself was straight and not gay. But the first point he made was around marriage from the legal standpoint. And that was that, or he highlighted that when you are married, you get tax benefits, which is undoubted in any country. You get married, you immediately get either lower tax, or in Libya back in the day, they used to give you a house. I think if you got married, they gave you a house, or they gave you a deposit for a house or something. So there's always benefits to being married, but now you don't have to be man and woman to get married. So he's saying, so if it's two men getting married, so we're going to have two men's salaries, because wherever he was from, he was American, but wherever he was from, it's quite evident that he was aware that the male salary is much higher than the women's salary in his area. So two male salaries is much more significant than his male salary and a female salary. So he's saying, let's combine our salaries to have two male salaries and the tax benefits first off. Then next was, you don't have to do anything with me or entertain any type of sleeping next to me. We'll have two master bedrooms. You can have the master bedroom. I don't care. Entertain whoever you want sexually. That's a woman or not. He didn't really specify. But again, I was like, I don't see the problem with that either. If you're trying to get the best out of life and you find women to be not the best that you can get. And then the next part that he then went on to say was he didn't want the stress that came with women. And I will be honest within myself and say that men's relationship with men is completely different to men's relationship with women.
Yeah, just like women's relationship with women is different to how it is with men.
Exactly. And I think that a relationship with a woman, as a man, I find relationships with women, especially emotional ones, to be taxing in ways that my relationships with my male friends who I could potentially marry are not taxing. Like, I don't find any relationship with a male friend that I still have, that I maintain, to be emotionally taxing. But I do find women to be emotionally taxing because you engage in that relationship in a different way. There's different expectations. There's different, even though I guess, in the video, the man was alluding to the fact that you could have these exact same things. You couldn't have the exact same things with a woman because the expectation would be completely different. You couldn't have someone live with you as a roommate, basically, which is this guy is saying, hey, be a roommate for life and we financially invest into a future together.
I think you can. If you can be friends, if you can have a female friend, then you can.
Yeah, but
because she's not going to be invested in you like that. She'll probably have a man that she's got. Remember, he basically described it as like a frat house. Like, okay, you can bring your chicks in, I'll bring my chicks in. So if it was a guy and a girl, same arrangement. We're just friends, but we're gonna get married. Yeah. Joining incomes, get all the tax benefits. You might even be lucky because she might even throw a meal in here and there. She might even clean and cook after you. Do you know what I mean? So you might even still getting a good deal. She'll bring her man or men. You bring your girls. No emotional, nothing. You can have that with a female.
No,
that you're not
you could
romantically
walk the same path. You could
to...
walk the same path, I believe, but I don't think you get the same outcome because, let's say, by nature, men and women operate differently. The kind of expectations that men have of each other as a baseline relationship, and the kind of expectations women have of each other as a baseline relationship, like, that's just a woman, this is just how we vibe. Those two baselines are different, and when you point them at each other, they're not the same. They don't connect in the same way. So men have
we don't even have to be friends like that. Because he's not
Yeah, but
asking a
that's
friend. He's not calling for a friend. He's just calling for any straight guy who's like, I don't need to get married to a woman. Let's do this. Cool. Yeah. Listen, let me tell you something. I believe in love. Yeah. But if I got asked for that arrangement by a guy who I wasn't interested in, I would take it up. And best believe I ain't got time for your issues, because men are not easy either. I don't care. I'm just here for the benefit of it, whilst I can still have a man and not be stressed. Cool. It's cool with me. You have your master bedroom, I have mine. I don't get involved in your business. Don't get involved in my business. If you like, we'll just put money together to get a cleaner, put money together to cook. Although you can have your own chef. Me, I'll be cooking my own food. Period. It can be done. It can be done.
I'm not saying it cannot be done.
I feel like, and this is not just to men who are thinking this way, it's to women as well. As a single person, let me just say, as a single person, I was talking about this the other day with my friend. The world is not designed for single people. Buying a house is flipping difficult as a single person. You do pay more tax. Living generally as a single person is way more expensive. You're not sharing your responsibility with anyone. You're doing it all on your own. So with that in mind, it would be flipping difficult. And I can understand why some people are like, no, I need to get into a relationship to get that, or I need to find a partnership to get the benefits of being in a couple, because being single is flipping hard. I know for a fact, as much as you're saying that if you weren't married, blah, 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 sorry, but you are married and you're in love with your wife. I'm just saying I understand. Like you would not trade what you have now for this other reality.
I would never make that choice.
Exactly.
I'm just saying I understand.
So as much as you understand the thinking behind it, you know that it's pants, because you know the benefit of having a proper marriage, of having of finding someone that you're in love with, who's in love with you, of having that intimacy to that level. So as much as you understand his reasoning and his thinking behind it, you understand it enough, but you would never trade it in for what you currently have.
I would never make that choice.
Because you know what you have, because you currently know the benefit of having it, if that makes sense.
I think mine is different. I know what life I want to lead is the reason why I would never make that choice. I know what life I want my kids to have. I know how I want my kids to experience life. And that's not conducive of what he's saying.
But that's benefit. That's down to benefit. Even though you might understand why some people might say, you know what, can't stand having a woman is taxing, but I can easily get an egg donor and have a baby and raise that child on my own without the taxing emotional side of having a woman there. Cool. But you still wouldn't, as much as you understand it, you would not choose it, because you know the benefit of having a woman that you love and raising a child in that environment. So that's why I'm saying you're saying mine is different, but the reasoning for why you're saying your situation is different is because you buy into the benefit of it, because you know the benefit of it, because you're in it.
I buy into tradition is why I'm in it.
But it's because you're in it and you're seeing the benefits of that.
Of course, of course.
Exactly.
And I'm also seeing the negative. I'm seeing both. I'm seeing both.
So
like it's not all perfect.
Yeah, but you know the negatives.
I see the full,
You see the positives and the negatives, but you would still choose what you currently have over what you understand of the other side.
Of course.
Thank you, because you're really arguing with me, but I'm really on your side with this. But what I'm trying to say is that on the face of it, on paper, it sounds great, but there's an intimacy that I feel that this generation is losing out on. And do you know what? I think that it just boils down to the dating, to how we're dating. Both men and women are not dating correctly. And the thing is, people are complaining, but they're not thinking about, okay, what am I doing to either improve the situation or to facilitate the state that it's in? Am I perpetrating it? Because some men are moaning that, women this, women that, women this, women that, not taking accountability for their part, because no one's perfect. You know, if you're attracting a certain type of woman every single time, then you do need to look inside yourself and think, why am I attracting that woman? What am I looking at? What am I not vetting properly? What is it about me Like, everyone needs to come with that mindset. Same thing with women. Men are trash, men are trash, men are trash. What kind of guys are you going for? Like, how are you portraying yourself? Like, what about you? What are you showing of yourself? Do you understand me? Even if you're someone that is healing, someone that is like, even me, I had to sit myself down the other day and be like, okay, Dami, like, I know that I'm a good woman. I know that. No one can tell me differently. Why haven't I met the right person? What is it? Okay, I'm vetting these guys, but I'm still not happy with the guys I'm vetting. Okay, why is that? Then I need to start rethinking about the type of guys that I'm even choosing to vet in the first place, if that makes sense. So everyone needs to take accountability for the part that they're playing. And if everyone did that, everyone that is single currently, if everyone did that, then I feel like a lot of these issues will just kind of reduce. But the problem is that everyone's moving with their chest up high. Everyone's moving mad, stubborn, and everyone's moving very, like, no one trusts each other. Everyone's like living in this very selfish, need to overprotect myself. I'm not trying to be that person. I don't want to wear my heart on my sleeve. I don't want to let no one in. I'm trying to date with walls up. You're not going to find anyone when you move like that.
You definitely need a big reset in with regards to the dating
100%. It's a mazzoline right now. It's a mazzoline
that's
right
kind of
now.
what happens every once in a while, though, because remember there was a point in time where I wasn't actually linking because I didn't have a BlackBerry, but where everybody was linking and no one was in relationships. That was a pandemic of its own. Because I knew girls and guys that were linking like 8 people, and I'm like, rah, what's this linking
people are still
thing?
doing that now. And BBM was when? Like
20 years, I don't even know, like, feel like 20 years ago. It was a long time ago. But BBM, it was a long time ago.
Yeah, BBM was uni times for me. So we're looking at, what, 2009, 2010, 2011?
Yeah, somewhere there.
Around that time.
People were linking like crazy, and just...
But people are still doing it now. They're just calling it not exclusive, I'm dating. It's mad. It's a mazzoline. So, like, as far as I'm concerned...
For me, it's more the expectations.
Here in the UK, we need a massive reset. But the problem is, the generation below us, the way them lot are talking, it's not going to get better for a very long time. No,
it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse.
Yeah. We've got the millennials. Half of us are still very traditional and and old school and into the romance of things. And then the other half are buying into what the Gen Z are talking about now. It's a lot more harsher. It's a lot more, no one trusts anyone. Yeah. That's the world that we're living in at the moment. And feminism has a big part to play as well. And I can go into that, and I can talk about that for days. I could talk about that for days, but I won't. Maybe that should be another episode. But like, I feel like, yes, on paper, this sounds like a great idea, but we're losing out on intimacy.
I get that you would, but I think this guy was an older guy. He was definitely like in his 40s, maybe. And the only reason...
he had grey hair, so...
The only reason why I agree with his thinking for him is because I don't think he wants to find love, and I feel like
that's having so him sad,
though. It's not though, because the path of love and relationship actually isn't for everybody. It would be nice if everybody could experience it, but it's not for everybody. And I think that the sooner the people who it's not for come out of the dating pool, the better it is for people who want to be in the dating pool, because I think he could have what he's
But let me tell you something. I get why the person that stitched the video was saying, listen, men like this don't like women. Because even the tone he was giving, it was very, women are issues. But I'll have one to sleep with, though. Yeah. So I get why the person that stitched the video was like, rah, like, not all men, but there are men who actually don't like women. They just want to have sex with you. That's it. They don't want anything else with you. And that's all fine and dandy if they are upfront and honest about that when they're talking to women. Problem is, because women are not naturally wired that way. I don't care what feminism tells you about being sexually liberated and sleeping with this person and that person and whatever. I still believe that you can be sexually liberated and you can experience freedom with your own body and sexuality and stuff like that. I still believe that women can do that. Please don't get me wrong. But I do also feel like women have been sold a lie in thinking they can move like man them, because fundamentally, because of our hormones and the way we're made up, we do tie emotion to that. Some women will sleep with loads of guys and think that they're not holding on to any emotion, but then 5, 6, 7, 10 men down the line realize they've been holding on, they've been carrying baggage with them. And it's not until they sit in therapy, for example, that they're like, oh my God, like I didn't realize I was carrying all this emotional baggage. Well, yeah, because women emotionally, when we have sex, there's an emotion there. Whether it's once, twice, whatever, there's an emotion there. You're carrying it. There's no, science has proved that. Science has proved it. So this whole feminism, this whole like movement, and I do blame feminists for it, in thinking that we can move like men, it's a flipping lie. It is a lie. It is a big lie. So because of that's the issue with women. And then, like I said, I mentioned incels, but there's also men who are, you know, who hate women to that extent, but still sleep with them, but they don't like them. So imagine you're maneuvering in the dating world with those type of characters, and then you've got the few that want the traditional. It's gonna be a wild ride.
Messy. I know it's messy.
It's gonna be messy.
It's very
but
messy.
Fundamentally, not everybody wears their issue or what they want for everyone to see, right?
Yeah.
And because of that, it makes it hard. And I'm not, as much as I'm trying to like romanticize the whole, oh, everyone should just try and do their bit to change. If you want a relationship, do your bit to change, whatever, so that you're not propelling it. But I also know that not everybody finds love. And even in previous generations, everybody probably knows at least one auntie or one uncle that just never settled down in their family. Because it's a thing. But I just think that previous generations, it was like one in a few. You know, and
by the way this generation's going, it's
even if they're not still in a marriage, they've married before, they've divorced, they found someone that at the time they thought they were in, that was their soulmate, they married, they experienced it, they experienced that intimacy, they broke up, whatever. But now we're gonna have some people who are in their 30s, 40s, never dated before. I know people that are in their late 20s, girls as well as guys in their late 20s that have never been in a relationship ever.
Yeah, that's
like a relationship. They've experienced sex, but they've not had a relationship. That's a problem for me. I feel like that's a problem.
In your 20s, that's a problem.
Yeah, late 20s. But never had a boyfriend. I know people in their 30s, never had a relationship ever.
But this speaks to the culture. This speaks to the social medias and the television shows as well. Because again, when I was young, to be fair, I did have my mum and dad around until they split. So maybe that plays a part, because I do vaguely remember them living together and then they split. But my upbringing, much like my younger brother from my dad's household, like this guy reminded me of myself in that he was so obsessed with affection and love. He was so affectionate. I was like, bruv, calm down, please. Like, he's past it now. Now he's a big boy. But I definitely had this deep desire to be like deeply connected to somebody else and be able to show them affection and have it reciprocated. I don't feel like people feel that. Like, you know what I mean? I think that was a feeling once, and that moment and that celebrating that way of being has passed in both the media and the relationship world. Like people, oh, that's PDA, or that's too much, or that's cringe, and yada yada yada. But it's not just people saying that of other people. It's in the media as well. Like, it's just not celebrated. Being connected to other people is not, well, people of the opposite sex or having relationships like that, it's not celebrated in any way, shape or form that I can see.
I'm telling you, even in friendships, in today's day and age, you go on social media, there's always at least one person saying, listen, I'm quick to cut people off. I'm going to block you. Like, people are moving like that now. People are like, there's people who can tell you that they love their friend. They love their friends. One something, they're ready to cut it off.
Yeah, and with the blocking and with that trail of behavior, what you're practicing doing is not maintaining a relationship.
Exactly.
And actually a romantic relationship, even though it's the most rewarding, it's also the most difficult, because it's the relationship where you have to endure the most, I don't really know what to call it, but let's call it pain or the most trial, or the most, you know what I mean? The most, whatever the negative word is, that's the one that you will have to endure the most of that and still give the most back to, is your romantic relationship, because that's the one that's above all others. And so if you're not able to do that with just friends that actually it's not that deep with, if you have to cut them off, you're not going to survive in a romantic relationship, because they're going to do you worse and better.
It's not even that. It's not even that you won't survive. It's not even that you won't survive. You might survive. You probably will survive. But it's just that it just shows a lot about your communication skills and your ability to be teachable and be open and be graceful, right? Because, and it kind of speaks back to what I was saying in that episode where that guy was like, oh, he dates younger women because they're more malleable, they're more this and all that. And I was like, actually, I don't quite agree, because I know a lot of younger generation from our age who are very quick to walk away from something, any little thing, they're out. And whether that is romantic or platonic, they're fast to cut people off. And the issue with that is you're not actually learning how to communicate, how to talk things through. I mean, it's fine if someone does something to you, you're allowed to be upset about it. I'm not saying people should be upset or whatever, but I think it takes a certain type of person to be like, okay, you've upset me, let's talk about this. And if after trying to sort it out, it's like, okay, this person, like, the behavior is not going to change, it's going, and because it's a continuous thing that they're doing, they're not considering my feelings, they don't care about me enough to make a change, therefore it's going to continue to hurt me because I can't help but feel how I feel about it, it triggers something in me, then yeah, those people, absolutely lock them off, because you have to think of your peace. But if it's something like you've been with this person for a long time, or you've been friends with this person for a long time, and they could be having a hard time in this season, or you could be having a hard time in this season, and you don't even realize that you're giving off a funny, funky, and you're butting heads at the moment. Everything moves in peaks and troughs. So people need to learn to ride the wave. If people dealt with how they feel about their social media, or how they felt about their jobs, and even with, I mean, Gen Z these days, they'll jump from job to job to job. They don't believe in like
that way
staying. Yeah. But what I'm trying to say is like, all of that all of that behavior just shows that you're not really someone that's willing to work at something. Or at least try to work at something. It's only when it's like, we've spoken about this, you're still doing it, you clearly don't care about me, and it's not like you're doing something similar, you're doing the same thing. So now I've told you this thing that you do, I don't like it, and you still do it and do it and do it. Then okay, cool, I get it, because this person is clearly not for you anymore. And I'm not saying that in life people have to stick with the same person all the time, because no one's meant to be with you forever. I get that, but I feel like the generation that we're in now, we celebrate toxicity. We celebrate walking away, and people boast about how they're cold-hearted now, how they're hard body now, how their walls are up. They boast about it.
But do you know why? Right. Do you know why that's the trap? And it's always a trap. Yeah. Do you know what? It's almost like, look to the culture, and whatever is being dictated to happen in the culture, whatever's being celebrated, do the opposite, because it's a trick. If you know what I mean.
It's a lie.
And when you see, these people, they're like, I keep a small circle and blah, 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 and no new friends and all of this stuff,
Mm.
What you have in 10 years from these people is loads of people that can't trust anybody and have really small networks, social networks. And who will all the winners be? There'll be all the people who didn't subscribe to the culture, who have friends galore, and they can utilize these connections because they've made meaningful, trustworthy connections with people and worked on these relationships,
And
versus
that's my
all of
point.
us from the culture who are isolated. You're
That's what I'm
isolated, you're
saying.
alone, you're weak.
You're isolating yourself, and this idea of, oh, you know, one little thing, I'm out. Okay, cool. But okay, now you're probably in therapy or you're not in therapy, and you're sitting there, you're going, I don't have no one. And that's the problem. That's well, part of the problem
No, it's a
is
lot of
this
the problem.
whole
It's because you know what it is? It's partly it's the internet. No, a lot of it's the internet, but not intentionally, but it's the thing. Because when I'm at work, I mean, I was at work today. One of my colleagues, he's a little bit older than me and a little bit further ahead in life in terms of he's got a wife, he's got like four kids, I think he's got. And so when I'm in the presence of people like that, who basically I see like, oh yeah, you're on my path, but you're ahead of where I'm at. I talk to them and I'm just receptive.
Yeah,
I'm
like,
just listening.
yeah, like
Tell
mentorship,
me,
innit?
yeah, tell me your
Yeah.
ups, your downs, because this is the path I'm walking.
Yeah.
And he will tell me, yeah, you know, this, that. I'm like, yeah, you know, like the first kid, like me and the wife are going to have a kid at this point in time. So like, you know, I am nervous that, you know, it's going to change things. And he's like,
Hint,
yeah,
hint.
you know, it's this, it's that. It's no hints, no hints. And so he's like, yeah, you know, it's this, it's that, etc. And I'm listening. But that's me personally taking advice from someone I know is on the path that I am on and is moving in the right direction or moving in the direction that I believe to be right and I want to move in that direction. That I'm taking his advice. The internet, however, is filled with people who may not even be on that path giving advice, but the human brain is not able to disseminate between the two. It's just wherever you hear the most, that's how you take it.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm not on the internet like that. But there comes times that as soon as I want information, I go to my elders. But that's the generation I'm from because it precedes the internet. But now it's not necessarily about your elders. It's just what you're being told the most is the truth. And that's not the truth.
And everyone thinks they know everything. On TikTok, yeah. It's crazy. The fact that TikTok is trying to be Google is
bigger than
crazy.
Google.
It's bigger than Google. People search TikTok for information.
More
for information.
Google.
For information, no. How
because
to
they're gonna
this,
get video.
How to that. And these people are unqualified. Do you know how many people went on TikTok and come off TikTok thinking they got ADHD, for example, because every other person is an expert on ADHD now, and people are self-diagnosing themselves because of TikTok. Do you see what I'm saying? But no, like I said before, it's hard to talk about dating and people's choices or the choices they want to make in terms of dating when there is so many factors that have led to what we are seeing today. And I think whilst on paper, it sounds nice to maybe boycott dating traditionally for a traditional marriage in the heterosexual world. If maybe you feel like I've been dating, it's a headache, or maybe you've been in a serious relationship, didn't work out, or maybe you've been married before, didn't work out, and you just think, you know what, this is long. I'd rather just have a situation with another like-minded person like me, same sex as me, can have an arrangement, and then just have a casual thing with whatever, because, you know, body no be firewood. Sometimes I want to have sex, so I'm going to find. You know what? I hear it. On paper, sounds great. But as someone who knows what it is to have the intimacy of a heterosexual relationship as a heterosexual woman, there is absolutely no way that I would choose to not seek that over this arrangement. And I get it and I respect it. I just don't respect it for me. And that's my take on it. I think everyone is missing out on true intimacy for whatever the reason might be, whether that is the internet, whether that is you're very hard-headed and you don't wear your heart on your sleeve and you don't trust and you've got a wall up or whatever. Well, everybody needs to heal. When you heal, then date, period. Like, deal with your demons, work on yourself, figure out what is it that I'm doing that's not quite right. It might mean you're single for longer, but I do believe that you'll find someone. Don't be going for this. Because the thing is, it's just going to lead to it being more difficult later on. That's all. That's all. And if you're someone that genuinely craves that intimacy, whilst it might sound like a good idea right now, think about the future. Like, do you see it getting better later? No. So don't even entertain that rubbish, I beg. And all this that men are not attracted to women, that they're attracted to men. I think if they were attracted to men, that would just make them homosexual on the DL, not heterosexual. And it also devalues women when you have that perspective, because it means that you buy into the ideology that women are only good for those three things. When women actually have way more value than that. And if you're a woman and you genuinely believe that men don't like women, then not to be rude, but it doesn't sound like you have a great self-esteem, because if you think you're a baddie and you think you got the sauce, no one can tell me that a guy that likes me is not really into me, he's into his friends. You're lying. Nah, you're lying. He likes me, okay? He likes me. Some of it might be because maybe you're not creating a safe space for him to be emotional and to be intimate with you to that level that he feels like he needs to run to his boys. Because I've seen guys, when they're really in love and they feel safe, they might run to their boys for bants, but they won't necessarily run to their boys for those things. So, sorry, I got to check the girls on that one. But there's so much there to unpick. We might have to do a part 2. Going back to this guy's ideology, I think if it works for you, great. But I think if you are someone that genuinely wants to find intimacy in the opposite sex, because that is your sexuality, do not give up on that and buy into this idea that this arrangement is going to do you. It might do you for a little while, but innately you're going to be unhappy, because that's not what you innately want. Yeah, I agree. Period.
Well, thank you very much for joining us for this roller coaster of an episode. We went around, we just got into it. It was fun. I hope you enjoyed. Leave your comments on I don't know, man. I don't know what part you want to touch on. You could touch on Liz Truss. I don't even know what to say.
Just let us know what you're thinking.
Let us know, exactly. Let us know what you enjoyed. What did you enjoy about this week's episode? What do you want us to talk about more, like as a continuation? Because I know you mentioned us taking this last conversation a bit further. If you haven't subscribed, then please do. The subscription button is just below. Hit a like whilst you're down there as well. And yeah, man, I ain't got nothing else to say on that. Dammy, you got anything you want to lead the people with before we hit them with the pow?
Nah.
All right.
It's late as we're recording.
Late.
I'm tired.
Late. So, from myself and the one and only Dammy to the Zane, until next time, guys. Peace.